So this is the first time I'm ever going to do a video like this, but these are going to be my top 5 favorite Shindo Life bloodlines, and I'm going to be saying why. So if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to like, subscribe to the video, guys. Alright, so coming in number 5 on this list is going to be Jeremiah. Now, this one's pretty obvious, you guys. If you guys haven't... Sorry about that, a gate just hit my knee, but if you guys are unaware, Jeremiah was actually named after me. Now, I know you guys are thinking, oh, it's Jiraiya's bloodline, that's why it's called J. Well, he was actually the user of Variety Mud. I'm sure you can connect two and two together, Variety and J, Variety J, you know what I mean? But yeah, Jeremiah's obviously going to be 5th because it obviously is my bloodline. Now, the reason why it's going to be in 5th and not higher on this list is because Jeremiah honestly kind of sucked. I do think the mode is probably the one thing about Jeremiah that is actually useful now, ever since they removed the M1 knockback. The stun doesn't play stock for very long, and the arena around you that it creates isn't very good. Not to the fact that the first move, it's okay overall. I actually really love the hair move as well. The second move, the hair move, is actually an extremely fun to use move. I actually do like using the move quite a bit. It's funny to yoink people with your hair and yoink them in. It just has a little bit too much end lag, and the fact that it's close range does, impact its usability. And then the third move is going to be a frog move. You go in the sky, you shoot frogs at some people, they explode into, a million tiny little giblets. But when it comes to, Jeremiah, I do think Jeremiah does obviously have a lot of weaknesses, but, the fact that it has my name on it definitely, boosts the bloodline up on my favorites level, you know what I mean? So even though it isn't that good, since it's named after me, and since it has a lot of, aspects of me in it, not really has no aspect of me in it, it was just named after me. But I actually do really like this bloodline. I think it can be fun to use at times, and the fact it's named after me definitely, like I said, boosts it up in this list quite a bit. If it wasn't for it being named after me, this bloodline wouldn't even be in my, top 50. I would also like to mention that the the knockback of the M1s was removed, so the mode is very usable, guys. You guys should definitely check out the mode if you haven't. The mode is actually quite good now, so there's something to mull over if you guys actually want to be using Jeremiah. Have you ever gotten 80th spin rarity and gotten something like just atomic? Well, that's because you haven't hit the like button on this video yet. If you hit the like button on this video, you're guaranteed to get 10 million times luck, 100%. All right, so coming in 4th place on this list is going to be Tengoku. Now, some of you guys may know this, some of you guys may not. Tengoku was actually one of my original favorites, along with Rengoku. Yes, the pre-rework Rengoku was my first favorite bloodline in the game, and then it ended up being Tengoku for an extremely long period of time. Now, if you guys have been around on my channel for a while, I'm not sure if there's many people on here. If you guys have been around since the combo videos, comment below. I actually do want to know who's been around here since combos, but ever since I started making combo videos, Tengoku has just always been there. Tengoku has always been my favorites. It used to be an insanely high DPS bloodline that was really good with stuns. Therefore, it was really good to throw into combos, especially the mode beforehand was really good to throw in combos. Obviously, the mode now is significantly better, but back in the day, Tengoku mode was slapping some cheeks together back when it did like 120k damage with the C-Spec. But yeah, like I said, when I did combo videos, Tengoku just has always been my favorite since then. It just has really high DPS output. It's honestly really easy to use as well if you know what you're doing. I do think Tengoku overall really isn't that great, which is why it's not going to be at my top of my favorites, but it always is going to hold that special place near and dear to me because Tengoku was one of my original favorites. It's when I originally started Shindo Life, and I'm really glad they reworked it. It definitely is a lot better now. It's very usable now, in my opinion. I think the beam, it's kind of weird that has like that sort of like boom, you know what I mean? But it's whatever. The Tengoku's a fine bloodline now. It's very average as a bloodline. It has a lot of DPS output, and the fact that it still has a lot of DPS output is the reason why it's still going to be one of my favorites. Still, like, I think Tengoku rework is one of the best reworks they've ever done, and as well with Rengoku, one of the best reworks they've done. They kept the original thing about Tengoku. They kept it, but they just made it better. Like, I feel like that is a perfect rework. I feel like changing something so that it is very similar but better and is still different at the same time is an insanely good thing. And I think the rework of Tengoku was just beautifully done, and I do think Tengoku is always going to remain one of my favorites. I do occasionally use it in PvP, even though it isn't that good right now, and maybe it'll get buffed in the future. Maybe I'll be able to use Tengoku no matter what, but as it stands right now, Tengoku 4th place in my top 5 favorites just because of my combo videos. Yeah, now coming in 3rd place is going to be one that may surprise some people. It's going to be Ryan Gaiden. Ryan Gaiden is it's a pretty solid bloodline now ever since they removed the end lag from the first ability. And this bloodline, if you know what you do, you can slash some cheeks together, you know what I'm saying? You could just straight up shove a sword in someone's, but when it comes to Ryan Gaiden, I do think Ryan Gaiden is a pretty good bloodline in general. I do think that, a lot of people hate on it just because it used to be popular. It definitely has a lot of faults, don't get me wrong, but I don't know why. Whenever I use Ryan Gaiden, I just have a good time, you know what I mean? It's fun to use, it's easy to use, you don't really, Like, if you put a little bit of thought into it, you could use it a lot better, obviously. But it is easy to use. It's one of the easier to use bloodlines. But, you know, Ryan Gaiden, I just have a really good time when using this bloodline. I feel like Ryan Gaiden is by far one of the single most fun bloodlines in the game. And I do think the fact that it's so fun makes it rank higher. It's also very visually appealing with that second move and the first move and the third move in the mode. Just a very good visually appealing mode. So it's fun, it looks good, and it is, you know, it's okay as a bloodline. So I do think Ryan Gaiden overall very, very solid in the third place of my top 5 favorite bloodlines. I do actually use it quite a bit. I'm sure you guys have seen in my PvP videos from every now and then. I mean, ever since they nerfed the second move, obviously I've used it significantly less. People have learned how to counter the third move because the third move doesn't have true iframes, so it's really easy to counter now. But Ryan Gaiden in general, I do actually think that, you know, it's a very solid third place of my top 5 favorites. I do think it is okay in PvP. It's by far one of the single best looking modes in the entire game. That's why you see it in my thumbnails a lot of time. It's probably going to be the thumbnail for this video, actually. It's just amazing looking bloodline, and it's extremely fun. What more could you ask for in the bloodline? I'm sure a lot of people agree with this, Ryan Gaiden being one of their top 5 favorites. Look up to second place of my top 5 favorites is going to be Diva Rengoku, the rework, not pre-rework. The pre-rework Diva was one of my single most hated bloodlines in this game. Hey guys, if you guys actually want to see my top 5 least favorite or my top 5 most hated bloodlines of Shindo Life, comment below that you guys want to see that. I think that would be an extremely funny video to do. But when it comes to Diva Ren being my second on my top 5 favorites here, honestly, it's just really good. You know, it's very satisfying if you know how to use it properly. It's just really good in general as well. I think the only thing that's bad about it is the mode, and even then, the mode is also still really fun to use. Everything just kind of molds together really well. Everything just kind of fits, you know what I mean? But when it comes down to it, you know, Diva Ren being one of the best bloodlines of the game, a lot of people will say it's their favorite without actually being able to explain why. Well, I'm gonna explain why. It's really fun to use together. I think it's a really good, it really meshes in well with other bloodlines. It's really easy to use in combos. Has really, you know, good combo potential as well. And you guys know I love my combos. And I do think that it is a very visually amazing mode. As something you'll notice from this list is that all of these bloodlines visually look good. Besides, you know, number 5, they all visually look amazing. And I think that's a big thing for me in this game. I feel like you could win with anything in Shindo Life. If you're good enough, you know, you could win with anything as long as you're using something that's good. But I think the visual aspect of the game is more important to me than something actually being good. You know what I mean? I'm sure some people can agree with that. And Diva Ren just, you know, it's very simple aesthetic, but it just hits the right places. First move, it's like, it's a lightning ball, and it feels like it has so much impact when it hits someone, you know what I mean? Like when it hits someone, boom, they get ragdolled, they get stunned, it does damage, you know? Has a lot of impact. The second move actually feels like you're slamming someone's face into the ground. You're going like, hey, you want to eat dirt, boy? And they're like, no, boy. And then you're like, boom, boom, and then you move stack on their, you know, on their butthole. You move stack on it. But Diva Ren in general, I do think Diva Ren is a very, very fun bloodline to use. I do think it definitely ranks very high on the list, as you guys can see. Second most favorite bloodline in the game. I do think I will continue using this even after it's nerfed. It has been nerfed a few times already. I'm sure it will continue getting nerfed. I'll probably keep using this just because it is so visually pleasing. It's so fun to use, and honestly, just a really amazing, well done bloodline. But something I will say, it's not really, you know, Rengoku anymore. I think they should have probably, you know, renamed it a little bit, but, you know, still as it stands, very good bloodline, very fun to use. By the way, guys, what is your favorite Shindo Life bloodline? For favorite, tell me in the comments below. We'll be checking them out. If you guys have any good opinions on the bloodlines, I will heart the comments, so feel free to say why. Now, as you guys have been waiting for, my single most favorite bloodline in Shindo Life, I get asked this question all the time. What is your favorite bloodline? Now, this one may surprise some people or may not surprise some people depending on what you know about me. Number 1, Van Helsing. Van Helsing is my number 1 most favorite Shindo Life bloodline. Seriously, it is my number 1 most favorite bloodline. Now, you guys may be thinking to yourself, why? Why is it your most favorite bloodline, Variety J? Well, the reason for this is because, I'm gonna be honest, early on in Van Helsing is actually when my channel started to get jump started again. Like, the views were going down, and then Van Helsing popped off. Not really. The Shindo Life didn't really do well around that time period. That's not the reason. I was just messing with you guys. But Van Helsing, I do think I don't know, the moves they just work so well to me. Like, it takes a lot of thought. It stimulates my brain to actually use Van Helsing, because it does require some thought. So it actually stimulates my brain to use Van Helsing, which is a very rare thing in Shindo Life. Something to stimulate your brain. Usually it's like, boom, AoE, boom, I'm gonna come over and stomp on your face. You know what I'm saying? But Van Helsing actually requires some brain power to use. I think that's the reason why I like it so much. So the first move is going to be, you know, it's a stun move. You can get some pretty fat M1 combos with it. You can go over there and be like, hey, boy. And they're like, what? And then you're like, you know, if you heard that slapping sound, that's me. You know, you get what I'm saying. But the second move is probably one of my personal favorites of Van Helsing. You go up in the sky. It's an iframe move. It's on the iframe attack global cooldown, if you guys are unaware of that. But then you come down, and this can actually bypass block. Now, the issue with this is the reason why Van Helsing actually requires a lot of thought to use. The second move is very easy to counter, so you have to know how to use this move properly, otherwise you will get your cheeks slapped together by the other person instead of you doing the slapping. But, you know, in general, I do actually think Van Helsing is a very fun bloodline to use. It has a lot of iframes with the second, the C-spec, the throwable. The third move being removed from a global cooldown definitely made the move a lot better than it used to be, and I do think, you know, Van Helsing with that buff is significantly better than it was before, and not only is it good, but also it's extremely fun. It's very visually pleasing with the, you know, the bat effect. And I do want to mention this, I have won numerous 1v2s in competitive 2v2 with Van Helsing. So, you know, Van Helsing extremely good at team fighting. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a really good team fighting bloodline just for the amount of, you know, iframes it has. Extremely fun to use bloodline. You guys should definitely check it out if you guys haven't yet. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember to like, subscribe, post, guys. Bye bye.